guys, it's Kat at Kat Reviews Books. I am back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about Katabasis and my thoughts on it. Happy release day to Katabasis from R.F. Kuang. I ended up giving this book 3.75 stars, 3 3/4 stars, depending on how you want to look at it. It's pretty good overall. I just don't know that this was the right book to get into dark academia with. I don't think I've ever read a dark academia book before this, or if I have, it was like a mystery thriller, but not super heavy on the academia part. I haven't read anything else from this author before, but I know that a lot of people enjoyed Babel, and I think they also wrote The Poppy Wars. So, like I said, overall pretty good. To start with, not getting super into spoiler territory, overall, I felt like this was very heavy leaning in the academia sense of the word. I had to stop to look up a lot of stuff, which kind of took me out of the book a lot. So it took me over a month to get through this. It's 520 pages. Normally a book this big maybe takes me 2 weeks max. I go through books like nothing. So for me to take longer than a month on a book, slightly disappointing. There were times where I sort of wish I had DNF'd this book, but I'm glad that I persevered. I think it's a great story. I just don't know that it's anything that I'm ever gonna want to read again, which is why I'm not gonna get a finalized copy of this, despite the fact that the deluxe edition at Barnes & Noble is gorgeous. I mean, the sprayed edges are so stunning, and the end papers and everything. I heavily considered it, but ultimately decided not to. But again, not super great. If I have to stop to look up some sort of terminology every third page, especially in the beginning, I mean, there's so much philosophy in here, linguistics, logistics, math, science. There was so much stuff that I didn't understand that I had to stop to look up because I felt like I wasn't going to appreciate the story otherwise. I definitely think if you are super into philosophy or were a philosophy major or anything, maybe this book will be more up your alley than it is for me. The other thing that I will say about this book, I didn't really love the ending. Felt a little lackluster to me after going through 500 pages. I mean, I don't disagree fully with how it ended. I just feel like it could have been more. I just can't put my finger on what it was missing. Basically, though, would I recommend this book? Probably for people who have read academia books before and enjoyed them, or for people who wanted fantasy but almost low fantasy. I mean, it definitely leaned into the fantasy, but it felt more on the academia side, so I would recommend it for that. Would I buy it for myself? As I stated earlier, no. I'm never gonna read this book again. I don't know if I'll ever give R.F. Kuang another shot. Maybe Babel. I don't personally think so. For anyone at this point in the video who does not want a spoiler for me to talk about things in this book, I'm going to have to spoil some stuff. So this is your cue to navigate away. I'm giving you a spoiler warning right now. You can click off this video because the rest of the video outside of my outro will just be me talking about the actual book and plot and things that kind of were off to me. So now that all the people who don't want spoilers are gone, this book had a lot of heavy subjects. One of the things in the book that happens is obviously that they go through the 8 courts of hell, and one of those being desire. There was a lot of stuff going on in the desire court that felt very vomit-inducing, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously, when you walk through the Court of Desire, you're going to see some adult acts, but there were some stuff that was mentioned that I was just like, this feels unnecessary. I know why it's in here, but now I feel kind of sick reading it. So that made me knock off a little bit. Again, the academia, having to stop to look up, well, what did Dante say here? Or what did blah 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 say here? Blah 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 blah. Whatever the case may be. The ending feeling lackluster because they get through all 8 courts of hell and meet King Yama or Hades or however you want to call him, and then getting their professor's soul there to just basically be like, Hey, actually, I just wanted to tell you how much I wanted to keep your soul for myself and just torture you and blah 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 blah. And then the whole ending, I don't know. Again, I felt like it was missing something. I'm very glad that Peter and Alice ended up together and that Peter wasn't dead, because I would have genuinely thrown this book at the wall, I think. And I don't say that very lightly because I would never intentionally throw a book. But this one, if Peter had died, it would have been a 1.5, maybe 2-star read for me. Like, I mean, Peter was such a lovable character that I had to see him through to the end. Alice felt a bit dull at times, and I know that's not the right word to use because obviously she was very smart. I just feel like she had the personality of, I don't want to say of a rock. She just didn't have a great personality. I didn't care about her cause, didn't care about her feelings. I just focused on Peter. I will say, on the more positive side of things, some of the things I enjoyed about this book were that they had little sketches in the book so you could see what each character was referring to. I liked that each court that you went through was some sort of reference to their campus that they attended, since it's literally about Peter and Alice going to hell to get their professor's soul back. They go to Cambridge, you know, all that fun jazz. Like, I enjoyed the little references and everything. I enjoyed Espeth. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but that as a side character, very enjoyable to me. The Kripkes, I felt like they were very minor in the book. I know why they were mentioned in the book, obviously, because they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna be the first ones to come back from hell, like nobody's ever done it before, blah 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 blah. I just felt so like it was a little bit of a side quest that we didn't really need to take. I did feel like the whole twist with Alice literally having a permanent pentagram tattoo, I guess, that her professor literally put on her so she could never forget anything. Like, everything else leading up to that point of reveal made it feel like it was something else. And obviously there were definitely undertone and hints of that, but like, I thought it was a lot worse than it is. And not that him doing experimental magic on Alice isn't terrible, but there was so much weight in my stomach before the reveal that when they finally did reveal it, I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't know if I could have stomached that. So those were my overall pros and cons, I guess you could call them. Like I said earlier, would I recommend this to somebody? Probably. If you like more academic leaning books, if you don't want super high fantasy, sure. Would I buy it for myself? No. Would I even buy it for a family member? Probably not. 2 of my sisters read fantasy stuff, but even I would tell them I don't think this is the one for you. Regardless, 3.75 stars. Not bad for first time experiencing R.F. Kuang, but probably will not pick up this author again. If you have gotten this far in the video and you have thoughts about R.F. Kuang's new book, I would love to hear them below. If you feel like there were things maybe I didn't understand or didn't appreciate in the book that I've mentioned previously, you can also comment below. I would love to have an open discussion, just because, again, not a philosophy major, not a science major, nothing. I majored in nothing because I didn't go to college, but like, just a lot of stuff that maybe I could have appreciated more if I had known about it for longer. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Goodbye.